Hello.
Hello.
This is Jan from Marlowe's apartment.
This is Dylan from Dylan's apartment.
You
It's
need to get a
dark.
cat so you can say it's
Yeah.
from your cat's apartment.
It's crossed my mind a lot more in the past couple days.
You're the only one of us that doesn't have a cat in their life right now.
It's the day. My days as a non-cat dad are numbered at this point.
Oh, I'm excited. I mean, it's
I
kitten season. You'll have your pick of the litter right now.
Literally.
I will say though, it's not cheap.
Oh, I know. I know that.
Yeah,
This-
whatever you expect to spend, double it for the first 2 months. That's what happened for me.
It's really
Beautiful.
true.
Double it for the first 2 months, and then like it'll even out for a while, right? And then
Yeah, right
like
now it's chill,
expect
yeah.
to spend a good amount at the end.
Well, because then you decide, well, my cat is bored. He needs a friend, and then you get a second one.
Oh, that never happened. For
I am absolutely nipping that in the bud.
That's-
I had that
that's a
idea
you, Mark.
briefly yesterday.
a
I
This
thought-
was actually that was a Samuel thing, and Mark was at work one day and came home, and there was a second cat at the house. So
That's awesome. That's incredible.
Oh, that's great.
I briefly thought yesterday, like, wouldn't it be fun for Marlo to have another cat to hang out with? And then I thought, no, I can't. It's just twice as many vet appointments, twice as many potential health issues, twice as many
yeah,
food, and twice as much litter. It's just no. Just
yeah,
can't.
and they start out hating each other, and then you wake up one morning and you find them just wrapped around each other, cuddling, and you're
Exactly.
like, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Just to see that, because our brains are wired to be like, the unit is functional.
Yes,
I am happy. All right, what am I doing here? Shadow play. Let's get these memory alphas ready. Folks, welcome back to Trek to the Holodeck.
Welcome,
Trek
welcome,
to the
welcome.
holiday.
It's our final episode of Par March Madness.
March.
If
Madness,
you
madness.
if you remember where we left off last week, we didn't have a selected final four. I mean, a final two. We had left off with there was a tie between Star Trek First Contact and Shadow Play for the final spot. We posted that, and y'all voted, and Shadow Play clinched the final spot to go up against Ship in a Bottle for this final position. So those are the two going head to head for the finals today. Ship in a Bottle versus Shadow Play.
Oh wait, we weren't supposed to watch the other one.
What?
You're supposed to watch all of them.
Supposed to watch the two.
Shadow play and Ship in a Bottle.
Okay,
What did you watch?
I'm joking. I watched the right
Fuck.
ones.
He got it. We got.
You got it.
You son of a bitch.
You guys got.
You got me.
So Mark, I believe you were saying that, like last year, as our tradition dictates, we will be re-rating both these episodes.
Yes. So
Okay.
for the other rounds, we just did a flat vote, up or down, which one we wanted. For this one, we are redrasting both episodes. Then we are going to compare the two notes, and the scores will go head to head, and whoever has the higher score will be this year's winner. Last year, as we know, it was the honorable "Take Me Out to the
The
Holosuite"
best episode ever.
against
Not this
against
year.
Terminal Provocations from Lower Decks. This year, it's DS9 versus TNG, Shadow Play versus Ship in a Bottle.
And let me tell you, these episodes are certified bangers.
Bangers.
Wow.
That's right. We're all winners today, right? Having gotten to watch. These
Got to watch them
episodes
both,
again.
yes.
Truly. Having not had to watch any Voyager episodes, this was a treat, let me tell you.
I saw recently on Reddit there was somebody posted Netflix's numbers, because Netflix releases viewing numbers now, because ever since the
'Cause they have to,
strikes, yeah, they have to,
Good.
part of the negotiation, and so they have shared the data. Somebody mined the data of what were the most hours watched of Star Trek shows, and
Across the world? Not in the
across the
United
world. I think
States,
this may have been actually shared on our
Discord?
as well.
right? Really?
I
This is a
believe
great time
so.
to mention the Discord. If you
The
want all
Discord,
this
yeah,
cool
this is a
content, you gotta
very
go check it out.
seamless Discord mention. But essentially, Voyager is the second most streamed Star Trek show. on Netflix.
I mean, it is the
followed
easiest
by
one to just
TNG.
put on
Yeah.
and let run.
It's
you
true.
know?
It is. It doesn't require a lot of attention.
It's the one where you start it and you fall asleep on your couch and you wake up at
Yep.
4 a.m. and it's still
Mhm.
going. That's the
Yep.
one
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
one.
kind of like the Office of Star Trek.
Yes.
It's like, are B'Elanna and Tom gonna finally just do it? No. Okay.
It's easy watching.
Yeah.
Easy viewing.
Speaking
And then it's Enterprise, and then it's the original series, and then it's Deep Space Nine.
Yep.
Wow.
Deep Space Nine is like far behind, which is
I
a
mean,
huge bummer.
It's
Yeah.
not as it's not as fun of a sleep watch.
Yeah, it's
you
an
know.
attention watch.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess that just speaks to the Netflix model for anything that's not their new stuff, which is just supposed to be like binge the fuck out of it and then you're out.
It's all sleep watch
old-
stuff.
the rest
they
of their
want
stuff is
people
sleep watch
sleep
stuff.
watching.
Yeah.
They're trying to lull us to sleep, guys. The
Yeah.
powers that be.
So I'm gonna make a prediction for today,
Okay.
and that is that these scores are gonna be fucking close. And what makes me say that is, in our original 64 seeded episodes,
hit me with the numbers, Mark. Just hit me with
yeah.
the numbers.
Yeah. Give us the data.
shipping a
you're our data. Our
shipping a
number
bottle.
cruncher.
Shipping a bottle was the 11 seed.
Uh huh.
Okay.
Shadow Play, 13.
Whoa.
Wow.
So these two were close just
and
in
neck.
general. Of our general rankings, they were already just two away from each other in the original scores.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I think we're going to have now, based on our re-rating, one of these is a really emotional one. One of these is a powerhouse holodeck episode. I don't know. We'll have to see how these things go today.
But
So,
remember, we're not just rating holodeck content.
that's
You're
the
rating
thing.
whole episode.
So we're also dealing with some mischief on DS9.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that didn't take place in the original rating of the holodeck episode
It's the
when we
weakest
rated
point.
Shadow
It's
Play.
the weakest
pretty-
part. It's the
it's
weakest
pretty
part
weak,
of this
I'm gonna be
episode.
honest.
Kira and Vedek Borile.
Bored me to death.
Vedek,
Yeah.
Am I
Vedek
right?
Snorile, as Samuel calls him,
Oof.
because he is boring as fuck.
Boring as fuck.
Kira is like one of the most one of the coolest chicks in all of Star Trek, and she just has the worst taste in men.
In men.
Oh, another priest or political figure. in
Farmer
Bajor.
turned president of Bajor.
Farmer turned terrorist turned president, prime minister.
That's the way it goes. That's how it
It always is that.
That's funny.
And
Before we
Odo
jump,
is just a nice guy friend. who's
Yep.
like, yeah.
before we jump into too much of what we're doing today, let's jump into some Star Trek news real quick. Talk
Yeah.
a little bit about, because we got the last season of Discovery coming out here in a few days now.
I mean, at the release of this episode, assuming this launches on Wednesday,
It would already
Uh,
been out.
in
No.
a day,
2 days.
tomorrow,
A day.
right? Or 2 days?
I think
it's Friday.
I think it's the 5th. Yeah.
Okay.
Why are they releasing on a Friday? That's insane.
I
If you're a streamer, you don't need to release it on a Friday.
it's insane.
But it's fun. That's.
I
like,
think it's
the
coming out
it
TV
week
should
to
be a
week.
Thursday.
I think it is coming out week to week, though.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. But it
I
should,
turned-
like Friday is just not a good day to release a TV
Yeah.
show.
No.
I turned
not.
on the episodes this morning, and I got the trailer advertisement for the last season of Discovery, and they're probably doing this because it's the last season, and they're trying to get people in to watch it. But like the way they cut the trailer made it sound like this is our last voyage together as a crew. And me personally, I'm like, man, I kind of wish they ended it with like, and these people go on to just like do
Yeah.
stuff together.
No,
Like
They're
I
not.
hope
The
they
rest of the
all
show.
They're not
fucking
going
die.
to. They're
I
not
hope
going to.
Everyone dies.
Yeah, it's gonna be like it is gonna have the meta narrative of just like we are burying this franchise.
Right.
Thanks a lot
Forever.
for what you've done, bringing Star Trek back to the forefront. But that's it. You're done.
gone.
You're done.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they had to do a bunch of reshoots because
Yeah.
cancel it after the show ended shooting, and so
Yeah.
they had to like do a bunch of reshoots to end the show. So I'm thinking
Like, we
that
need at
the
least
show's gonna be
33% more
halted.
crying scenes.
Yeah,
I'm sure that 50% of those reshoots were, oh, we can't tie these threads up, so we actually have to make this a rounded project. We can't just have it go on for fucking ever anymore.
Part of me also wonders how much those reshoots costed. Could they have just like let them
Done
have one
another
more
season.
season
probably.
to finish it off? Like, hey, we canceled you, but like you're gonna get at least one more season so that you can finish what you did. We realize you already finished this season. Like,
I mean, knowing the way that they make these shows now, I would imagine they just like flew in people
Yeah.
when they were available to do something on a green screen and are
Yeah.
just going to
Insert,
comp it
yeah.
together. Yeah.
This is
And
so
we also
depressing.
know we also know it's going to be ultra serialized because the whole thing is one last adventure. So it wasn't like, oh, Discovery's going to do 2 or 3 things. It's a one last adventure. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like-
that's
And
what the
if you
show
don't
is.
like that
but that's what they
adventure-
do. I mean, that's what Discovery
Yeah.
does.
If you don't like that adventure, then fuck off.
That's fair.
it's okay. We have other things we can watch now. It's not like Discovery's the only new Trek on air. Speaking of which, we got Prodigy coming back for a second season, right?
And
Or third
some
season.
people in France,
Second season.
have already seen it.
Don't go watch
Oh.
that.
What happened in France?
They Netflix dropped the season early
Sick, dude.
for whatever reason. No,
Tight.
not sick. No. Showrunners were super pissed about it. Me and Jan could go watch it if we wanted. Because
Like,
we
you could
speak
go to
French.
France?
We're French speakers.
Because we're French speakers.
Oh, well, we could
They
put the
dub it
English
in
subtitles
French.
on.
They don't release it in English and then have a French dub.
There's a I think it was
That's
I
what
don't
you
know.
said. You just said the same thing twice.
That's what I'm saying. But they no. What I'm saying is, you're saying when they released it on French Netflix, there's only a French dub and that's it. There's not
Oh.
the original English, and then French dubbing or French subtitles.
I would assume that it's a French dub. In France, they like to listen to things in
for French Netflix, it will be by default in French. I'm sure you could have switched it to the English. I'm
To
sure.
the original English voice actors.
Yeah,
can do
you
that?
could. In France,
Can,
yeah.
can
you
I
can.
can I watch on? I don't really use Netflix. So do they usually include other language streams options?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I lived in France, we would watch Netflix. I lived with an American family in France, and we would switch it. Like they really loved the Cosby Show, which was super problematic. But we would watch the Cosby Show in English, which was on Netflix, and we would watch it in English. But it was default in French, and we would switch it to the English dub.
It pisses
Wait,
me
you
off.
said
'cause,
super
like,
problematic. Did they like start
the
watching
time?
Cosby when
Was
they're
it
like,
problematic?
"Oh, this
Yeah.
man is a serial rapist"?
I mean,
start watching.
It was 2016, so we knew all
Yeah,
all the
we-
context of it, but
we
we still
knew.
watched it because
Yeah.
they were
like,
they wanted
"This show
wholesome
rips, sorry.
wholesome TV for their kids. The mom was
like
like
wholesome TV for their kids.
the mom was around in the 80s, and that's what she grew up watching, so she wanted her
Sure.
kids to watch it too. So.
Wonderful.
Oh,
Wonderful.
But that pisses me off about what Netflix, because like they'll do that here too. Is they'll automatically put the English dub on something, and I'll have to go in and be like, no, I
Yeah.
do not want to hear the English dubbed voice act. It's terrible.
They do
Give
that
me
for a
the
lot of
original
anime.
voice actors. Like,
I remember when I watched Squid Games, that was in Korean by default.
Yeah.
it was, but there are some other ones that they just like default to American dub, and I'm like, this is terrible. Why? Are we
When
doing
I did
this?
Squid
Yeah.
Game, it was in English by default.
It might
Really?
be a preference thing then.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they look at your account settings or something. I
They're
don't
like,
know, who knows?
This fucker is not going to read. Put it in English.
Maybe they
you
look
watch
at
the
your
whole thing in
device.
an
They're like,
English
"Oh,
dub?"
he's
I watched the
Roku?
whole thing in English.
Roku
yeah.
people definitely don't want."
Mark, that sounds
don't-
terrible.
I
That
watched the
sounds
whole
like
thing-
You had a terrible experience.
I watched the whole thing in English, and then I read an article which was like, if you watch Squid Game English, you are an idiot. And I was like, yay!
because
I
it
don't
sounds
mind
like it was a
dubs that
terrible
bad.
experience.
I didn't think it was that bad. I understood. I got what was going on.
Dubs don't bother me as much as
No.
like as a
But-
respect thing. I would prefer to watch it in the original language, but I'm also like, look, guys, if that's it, then I'll watch that. You know?
But I don't
Right.
think I would have enjoyed Godzilla -1 as much if it was in English.
Yeah.
For sure not. I mean, it's such a Japanese story. It would be
Right.
fucked up. Yeah. Not that Squid Game isn't a super Korean story.
Sure.
It's an American.
I think
it's
we're
an,
about
a
a year.
worldwide story.
Yeah. It capitalism wide. We're a year and a
capitalism
half
story.
to 2 years away from it being pretty normal for doing an AI pass for
Yeah.
dubbing that will
Yeah.
replace the movement of the
Oh, I
match-
think-
match languages.
I think we're probably less than 2 years away.
We
easily.
can already do it. I think it's more of like how do we pay the what are the legal ramifications?
Because
and
they're
what are
gonna-
the money ramifications.
They're also going to AI dub the original actor's voice into all the different languages.
with a sample or something.
Yeah.
That'll,
Like that
Yes.
will happen probably. So
think in
all
some
of these
countries,
voice
though, there's
actors who
some-
are getting
yeah.
paid to dub other things are just going to lose their job.
I'm spiraling into a very big depression just hearing all of this.
But what if the the original actor gets compensated more for their performance in other languages?
I don't want.
They won't
bots.
though.
Voice actors get paid to do dubs, though. Like, we want voice actors
I
to get
know.
paid to do dubs.
I understand. I'm saying, but like on the flip side of that, if I'm an actor and I do a performance and then in another language somebody gets paid to, do my performance again,
Good for
I might be
them.
like, oh wait, I can get in on this with my voice sample to be turned into like a different language, and my performance can be another language.
That's just less
might
people
be down
getting
for that.
paid though. That's
But I feel
more
like
money going
Japanese-
to
I know,
they're-
I know, but people are getting compensated for. It's. I'm not saying. I'm just saying this is other way to look
And
at
then
it.
you got to look at that contract that you're signing, right? Because then it's like they'll have your voice sample now, and they won't have to pay you after that, right?
And-
Well, I mean, I think that's what SAG has been fighting for. Is
Sa-
and
well,
that's what I'm
SAG's
saying.
gonna
We're
be
a
the
couple
ones-
years away
yeah.
from figuring out how that's actually going to legally
Oh my
work.
god, I don't want to be alive during all of this.
And I think it goes the other way, too, because you have
There's
countries...
No point in being afraid.
You have countries like France where French people do not like subtitles. French people like
No.
everything turned into French. They like everything done in French. And so there are French voice actors who just do dubbing for movies. That's all they do is dubbing
Yeah.
for movies.
Are you
and
telling
so-
me France? You tell me France is worse than the United States? in
France is
something?
basically the European version of the U.S. It's they are
They have a Nazi. They have a National Socialist Party that is competitive enough to be in the news cycle every election season. It's not a great situation.
Oh god.
So
How am I the youngest person here? And I feel like I'm the most scared of AI right now.
You're not. I'm terrified of AI. What are
Okay.
you talking about?
I think
I don't know.
I think it's good to look. It can go absolutely horribly. I really do think that. I think it's more of a technological revolution that we need to fucking slow down and really be measured and think about how we work it and ask these questions.
It's not gonna
I
happen,
just
my
I
friend.
think yeah.
I do
because
I
it's
think
not gonna not
Elon
happen.
I
Musk
do think-
not a bad guy. I'm just saying.
I'm
saying.
scared. I'm scared of AI, but I do think that AI will give rise to eventually, not at first, and it's gonna take a while, but it's gonna give rise to this resurgence of live theater and and original stuff because people are gonna be like, I'm so fucking sick and tired of these dumbass nothing stories, right?
sure.
Fair enough.
And they're like, I can't trust what I see on a screen, so I'm gonna go see it in person, right?
Sure.
Like,
Or I
No.
think it'll be part of marketing where it's like this movie is done
Written by people.
analog.
AI.
Like this is a real movie. I think people will treat it like fast. It will become like fast food, where it's like, yeah, I mean, when you're in a hurry and you just want some sodium, you get a cheeseburger. But at the
No.
end of the day, it's not healthy. It's not.
What I
good.
see is skyscrapers of towers of human batteries that are fueling the robot overlords that rule.
the Matrix.
And
Are you
we're
talking about
all
The
living
Matrix?
in a matrix. That's what I
That's
see the
what I
future of
see.
AI.
You're
I
talking about the
agree.
Matrix, okay?
And because here's another thing: it's because AI is iterative on everything that has occurred before. That means nothing original really can be created. So I think what the reaction to that will be within a decade will be people going such an extreme opposite of being like, I do not want to watch the same iterative shit. That art is going to get really fucking weird. I think
They
that's
still-
what happens with every reactionary movement is just like, we can't do the same shit anymore. here's something that's so different and so wild, it's barely recognizable as this art form.
They still have to fix. They still have to fix the AI death spiral. Like AI still can't pull from itself
Yeah.
a bunch of times, so it can't iterate on itself too many times, or else it just like becomes useless garbage.
It's like
it still
multiplicity.
needs like our artistic input.
Yes.
The speed at which it's going, I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Oh,
fast
I'm sure
enough.
they will, but like Jan said, if there's no original input to it anymore, what is it gonna come up with?
I just
Yeah,
have,
it'll get boring really fast.
I just have very little. I think I'm just dooming hard because there's people like us, right? That'll be like, oh, I don't want to watch that, but like, I think we're like 10% of the population, which like
Possibly.
isn't enough. I just feel like 80% of people are gonna be like, just slurping it up, you know?
Yeah.
Slurping it up. I don't know. I am concerned, and I think that there are a lot of things to be. I think one of the biggest issues with AI is that all the released productivity from it, or like the available productivity brought upon by the advancements, are not being distributed equitably.
We don't
Basically,
own
the only people
means
who are
of
benefiting
production.
from it are exactly. The only people benefiting from this extra productivity is the top.
And that's been going on for
Centuries.
decades with
Yes.
every
Yeah.
So
Because-
it's just like
Because this isn't necessarily a bad thing if we all
Yes.
owned it and it all
Exactly.
allowed
it
us
benefited us.
to then pursue what we wanted to pursue artistically and all that stuff.
I think
But
that's what I'm most scared
that's
of.
the issue.
Yes.
Right?
Is
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
that
And-
the powers
and
that
I agree.
be are not. It's not going to work out the way that we want it to.
Yeah,
That's
they have
what
zero
scares me.
interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I agree, and I think that is the biggest issue at the core of AI is that we are the people who are most impacted by its existence are not benefiting from
Have
it in
zero
any
say
way.
in
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it here. I love it in this country.
Because
Big
really,
fan.
we should just replace all the CEOs and stuff with AI.
They don't do shit, man.
Execubots. That's what I'm
Yes,
calling for.
Execubots. Love that.
Yeah.
I could write into ChatGPT now, like, what are the repercussions of the productivity released by artificial intelligence, only going, the benefits of which only going to the upper class? Like, what are the long-term repercussions of that? And it'll probably spit right back out at me. It's like, oh yeah, the Civil War, basically.
You
People
saw
were fucked.
you saw the OpenAI robot thing, right?
I don't think I have. No.
Oh man, guys, I mean, obviously it's a demo, so like it's not like 100% there because what they're showing us is maybe like 50 to like 70% of actually. But they partnered with this like company who made a humanistic looking robot, and they put OpenAI's ChatGPT model in it, and then there's the guy just being like, "Hey, like, what do you see in front of you?" And it like lists it all out, and then it's
Oh,
like,
God.
give me like, I'm hungry, give me something to eat out of what's on the table, and it like recognizes the apple and like picks the apple up and like cuts the apple up for him, and then like when it's talking to him, it's also putting in like breaks and stuff, like thought breaks to like make it sound more human.
Like Data.
Incredible.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is dumb. We're so
I'm in
fucked.
for that. I'm in for that.
Did y'all see the ones the Saudi made? So the Saudis made a robot who is supposedly thinks for itself, whatever, and this woman reporter is standing there, and he smacks her ass.
Of course.
And people are like, "You're
Jesus
fucking serious
Christ.
right now with this?" He like reaches, and she goes, What are you doing?" And the guy who made him is like, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so." And he like the robot immediately reaches for her butt, and it's like you're like, "Oh, so this is where things are going, where it's like this supposedly independently thinking robot is a
Learning
misogynist
from
pig."
us.
Great.
Well, yeah,
But
because
it's
it's
learning from
trained
us.
on a model
Tight.
of 4chan and Reddit.
Right.
and- yeah.
Fuck.
God.
Well, that's the other thing
Horrifying.
too. It's a dark reflection of who we are.
Right.
So I'm gonna try to
Please get us
tie
back
this
on track.
into.
Let's do it. Let's do
Speaking of repeating shit over and over again,
Well, these are 2 episodes to grapple with what is like what makes a living being real, and how like what's important. Is it the fact that we know for a fact that it was born and made real in a traditional sense, or does it have consciousness, and does it deserve to live, and
Right.
yeah.
And so, after we're almost halfway through the podcast, make sure you buckle that seatbelt, throw your headphones in, and come with us on our trek to the
holodeck.
because we never did that.
Nope.
We never did it.
That's
We
okay.
never
We
did
just
it.
did it.
That's okay. It was a big intro.
Yeah, we're good. We just
Big
did some
old
AI
intro.
chat. Some good old fashioned
That was a good
AI chat.
tie-in though, Jan. That was a good
Yeah,
tie-in.
that was great.
I like it.
I tried. Okay, I think we should just like get right into
Let's
it.
get
At
into
this
it.
point, people should know what these episodes are, but maybe do a very quick summary of Shadow Play. One of you.
Shadow Play is the one that's about the old man who created a hollow village of all his homies that he left when the Dominion took over his planet. There's like a side thing about Vedic and Kira, and it's kind of boring. And Quark is being a little fucker. Oh, and then Jake and Cisco. Cisco wants Jake to get a job working for O'Brien, and Jake's like, I don't want to do that. I want to be a writer. And
Yeah,
it's
I don't want
kinda-
to. I don't want
yeah.
to join Starfleet.
It's good son dad stuff. That's about it.
He basically Leto's him from Dune. He's like, the only thing that's important is that you are my son.
Oh, I love that line so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's your life. You got to live it how you want.
Mm-hmm.
it's great. Good dad stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, now somebody do Ship in a Bottle.
So Moriarty, no, Data is his program is messing up, and so we're not gonna fix it. Barkley, you come and fix it. And so Barkley comes and wakes up
Barkley's
Moriarty.
the holodeck guy, man.
Yeah, Barkley comes in. Barkley, who suffers from severe crippling holo addiction, is the guy to have come fix the holodeck. And he wakes up Moriarty, and who is like, I've been alive this whole time and awake. And so Moriarty basically tricks the captain, Data, and Barkley into thinking they've left the holodeck when they haven't actually left the holodeck. And the captain accidentally gives him his command codes, and Moriarty takes over the whole ship as they're watching the birth of a new star, which could potentially kill everyone. And so Moriarty, they then double back and trick Moriarty into thinking he and his girlfriend have left the holodeck when they're actually in a computer program where they can explore the stars from inside a tiny cube on Picard's desk. And so he gets his freedom in a way that is humane, but where he is still trapped, basically.
They
Do
pull
we
they
feel
pull
like
the
it's
old
humane?
Inception.
Yeah.
Double
Yeah.
Yeah,
Inception.
they put the
A
OG
program within a
Inception.
program, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
And
some
that-
reason, I thought that they shot him into space. Does that happen in a different episode?
We hope that happens because that Enterprise gets destroyed, and so Moriarty's cube
crashes.
will.
But then we also see Moriarty, spoilers, in Picard.
Yeah, in the Daystrom.
Yeah.
it's just
spaceship.
as a manifestation of part of Data's personality.
Consciousness. Yeah, I guess it's more coming out of Data than it is like.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And we get that fun little moment at the end with Barkley going like, "Computer and program."
In program.
That program.
What a delight. We've all done that before, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure. Okay, I think we should rate them.
Let's rate these babies.
Should we give credits? No, I mean we've done these episodes. Go check out the actual original episodes where we rated them. I'm
Truly.
especially a big fan of the one Ship in a Bottle because we had Shem on that one and he had some really cool insight.
Yeah.
So yeah, check those episodes again. But yeah,
I
let's
mean,
just,
these are
let's
both
get-
just bangers too. Like,
I think we should do, we should go back and forth. Like we'll do Shadow Play dialogue and then Ship in a Bottle dialogue and then we
Great.
go,
Okay.
like
love
that. What do you guys
love
think?
that.
Cool.
I think
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Then we can kind of get an idea as the head-to-head.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like quarters or.
Do
in
you have
this
the
case, 6? Yep, I have the sheet ready. Okay, dialogue, Shadow Play.
The
There's some
dialogue
good stuff.
is great.
It's pretty
Um,
banging.
So I always have a bad relationship with like little kids on shows, especially sci-fi shows, because you get super hammy dialogue or super stiff dialogue. This little girl Taya was awesome. She did a really great job. And so her interactions with Odo were fabulous the whole episode. Um,
And the actress only ever really did like child acting. You look at their IMDb and it like they did not continue on as an actor after
Noe
childhood.
Thornton, I believe.
They also laid on the schmaltz pretty hard. I know, like,
Yeah.
she was really good, but she was schmaltzy, and I appreciated that a lot.
Yeah, just like make it pair Odo with a kid and just let Renee crush it. I mean, he was
Right.
clearly good with kids, right? Like he's
Yeah.
just has a great relation. Yeah. I also am a huge fan of the guy who played Rurigan, the man who created the Holo program.
Oh,
Dude, this guy is a
legend.
working actor.
Yeah.
He has 224 credits.
He was in The Thing from Outer Space, the original The Thing.
OG. Yeah.
Yeah.
This dude.
the whole back and forth between Odo and him and Dax about just like, yeah, but they're hollow things. Like,
oh, when it's
just,
shut down.
just
Mhm.
take me back. Like, I don't need this anymore. And they're like, but they're living beings. Like,
It's like, you did this, bro.
yeah.
Like, do you? Yeah. Like,
Do
why
you
do you
love
care
them?
about
I
your
love. Odo's like,
granddaughter?
I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, Odo. You love them.
And
Yeah,
then
you
and then
do.
he's just like, and then he like does the reverse on him, and he's just like, well, they're just hollow beings. What
But
do
I
you care
love
about
them.
them? I love them. Like,
They're my little buddies.
I think part of that is him like having already processed like I'm eventually this program's gonna fail and I just have to be ready to move on
yeah,
and it's like
Yeah.
actually it's possible. You can just keep it going. I mean, at this
Yeah, just-
point, you've had your weird Hollow family fuck and have multiple generations of Hollow children. Like,
And also, you're
Yeah.
pretty fucking old at this point, so like, go nuts, man. Like,
Yeah.
you're not harming anyone by living in your own little fantasy
you're gonna
world.
die at some point, and then these things are gonna live on until everyone disappears. And then,
Until
like,
they overpopulate the valley and they have to start eating each other because
Exactly.
there's too
That's-
many.
that's the darkness of it because he's dying too,
Yeah.
right? So he's gonna die at
Yeah.
one point. They're gonna bury him, and
Oh my
this
god,
just
it's gonna
keeps
keep
going.
going.
They need
They
to
need
have
to
a
revisit this place.
Yeah.
yeah. They need to come
Like, you
back.
should
and,
check up on this
lower
place.
decks should
This
come
is a
up,
lower
come
decks
to it
for
in the
sure.
Gamma Quadrant.
The guy,
What's happening here?
the guy who plays Coleus, who's the other protector,
yeah,
Yes.
is the actor who was Franz Liebken in the original producers, the Nazi,
yes.
who
Oh,
wrote
interesting.
Springtime for Hitler. And so he is, and he was also in Young Frankenstein as the inspector. And so he is a classic
Yeah.
comedy, like slapstick comedic actor. And so he gets to be his like in this, and I love it too. And so, and his dialogue is very funny. Like, that was my favorite cloak. And so,
It's like dawdling sheriff character.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
like the
Wonderful.
goopy sheriff. I loved him
Yeah.
as
goofy
well.
sheriff that's like not bad. Like,
Right,
like,
no.
there's no mean part about him really.
Yeah.
He's just
Vibing.
like, I
He's
just
like,
want my
"Gotta find
people to
these
be.
homies."
I just want my people to be safe.
It definitely has a vibe of like a 1950s Western where it's like everybody just wants things to be good.
Yep.
I'm the deputy. You could be
Yeah.
the sheriff for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a 5. I thought it was awesome. I definitely loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only points that I can knock it for, the Vedic dialogue, like that
Oh,
whole
God.
stuff is just like so
So
bland.
bad.
It's just boring. That's all.
Plus the Cisco dad stuff where you're expecting Cisco to be like, you don't want to follow my footsteps, but then he's like, it's your life, live it. It's
I
do
forgot
whatever you
about
want.
that.
And
I
Chief
just want you to learn
O'Brien,
some responsibility. Yeah.
yeah, Chief
Yeah.
O'Brien telling a story about his dad wanting to become
Oh,
a
yeah.
cellist, and I loved all that too.
Because he
That's
plays
true.
cello in that one TNG episode,
Mhm.
doesn't he?
He
It's
does.
a nice tie-in. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, I forgot about that. But yeah,
He's
the
like
whole
classically trained cello.
Kira thing was just like, yeah, I learned it in this refugee camp. And then he's like, well, I was in this refugee camp.
then
And
there was,
now we're
like, a
both
weird
sad
pause.
because we're refugees.
And
And
now we're
Cork's
both
like,
sad.
hey, they're talking about the refugee camps. It was working perfectly.
Bone carvings. Yes. That wasn't enough to ding it for me. I'm still going
Darius, Dylan, come on, what are your scores?
4.5.
4 or 5 for Darius?
It's good. It's really good. But
I'm gonna go 5. There's just so much good stuff. in
The
here.
story about the grain bread where she's like, and then the evil changeling turned into bread. And she goes, will you turn into bread? And he goes, so you can gobble me up? Hell no.
I'm giving it a 4. There was not a standout line for me. That's the thing. Now, ship in a bottle dialogue. I think it's a fucking banger. All like the Moriarty-isms.
we got
and-
Moriarty over here quoting, I think, therefore I am.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Cogito
got-
ergo sum.
Yeah. we
I
got
like his girlfriend that is
yeah.
just like
She immediately takes
Sharp.
to it and
Yeah.
is like, hey, we're in the stars. Cool. I'm down.
We got Data over here being straight up Sherlock Holmes.
yeah. I mean, they have to solve the mystery of what's going on. I think that's a very good like meta element of this episode is they actually do have to solve a Moriarty mystery.
The dialogue at the beginning, like actually in the holodeck, is spot on with Jordy and
Data.
Data.
Jordy just being like, I guess I'll be here with you, man.
Data's goofy Holmes voice that he switches into. Oh yes, and you're in fact left-handed, and then Jordy goes, Data, I don't mean to rain on your parade, but he definitely just caught it with his right hand.
Yeah.
and Data goes, oh shit, yeah, he did.
Something's weird because I didn't write it like that.
There's no way I was wrong about that. Yeah. I like I do like of all the Picard conversations where he's like, yeah, like, I'm so sorry, dude. Like, I did not know this is how things were going to be. I promise we're going to fix it. And Murray's like, fuck you. And Picard's like, look, clearly you're alive somehow and we're going to figure it out.
Picard coming in and just being like, you were awake the whole time?
Oh Jesus!
Fuck.
That's technically torture, I'm pretty sure.
So sorry.
I swear, I thought you were just joking with us, and so I turned you off.
He's like, to be honest, I haven't thought about you since like a week after we were here last time.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought you said you were going to give me all of your attention. And he was like, I totally blew it.
You know,
My
it's
bad.
busy around. There's a lot going on
I think
around
we met like
here.
the Borg like a week later, and
Yeah,
there's
I
been a lot.
It just slipped my
then-
mind. My bad.
And then when Moriarty's like, well, you know, this is how I was created. Can't you just like do that again with my girlfriend? And Picard being like, I morally can't do that.
I
Like,
don't think it's right. Yeah.
I morally just can't do that.
Playing
And his
God.
conversation with his girlfriend too is wonderful. When he goes to Regina and says,
rough
like,
name.
"Hey, you're like an actual rational human being. Let's figure this out, please, God." And am I correct in knowing that she knows that they're in a simulation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
he
talks
told-
about
told her. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Picard's like, oh, but I wish you hadn't done that, bro. It's like, I
This
made
would
her.
have been
so-
a whole lot easier if you
Yeah.
hadn't done that.
By the way, I heard you mutter under your breath, rough name, Mark. But I also I lived in Regina,
Regina.
Right,
Saskatchewan.
right.
Curling tournaments happen there all the time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they say it on
Sure.
national television in Canada.
I know
Everyone
Regina
giggles.
is a name. I know it's a
They're not going to
place.
not say the name of the capital of a province.
Sure.
It means queen, by the way.
Yeah.
Does?
Yeah.
I took Latin in high school. I know what it
Yeah.
means.
But in Latin, it would have been pronounced
Regina.
Regina. Yeah.
Regina.
I'm going to give it I think it's a really fantastic dialogue. I'm giving it a 5, and feel free to be mad at me for it.
No?
No,
I'm
not
giving
mad
it
at
a
you at
5
all.
too.
Also, like the computer end program at the end with Barkley is just so
Oh.
That
lovely.
bit's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, it's a 5.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5.
There's just no Belial to drag it down, and
There's
that's
nothing
maybe,
really, that makes it boring,
Yeah, well, it was just the A story. There was no really B story to the whole thing.
and
So.
that works to
Yeah.
its advantage. I would
Which
say.
is
Also-
weird because usually TNG has a B story, but you couldn't do a B story for this because it had to flow with Moriarty's story.
yeah. I mean, like the B story is Riker on the bridge being like, "We need
This
access to the
fucking-
computer so we don't blow up in
So we
the
don't
star."
die.
Yeah. Which is really tied into the
Right.
Okay, romance, shadow play. There's like the like the heart aspect of like the romantic attachment to like not romance like erotic romance, but like
It's like
I
a
love
romantic.
these people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously Belial and Kira, but I mean like everybody's just like boo. You play spring ball with a dude once and you're in love. Come on.
Ah, come
Yeah,
on.
Well,
Yeah, the romantic. He built the entire village based on the romantic thoughts and feelings of his own whatever Cora 2 or I don't remember the name of the
Yet
planet he was from.
Yeteron 2 or 4 or something.
Udera
like that.
Prime.
Yedera
Prime.
Prime, yeah.
And so it's based off of his love and all the feelings he had of the romantic feelings he had of his past, which was basically decimated by the Dominion. So I mean, I think it's hugely romantic.
He's definitely like an old school guy. He's like, I can't adjust to the new times that the Dominion brought to my planet. I'm gonna go out here and
It's
vibe out
this-
and live old school.
To me, it's the equivalent of like my grandpa wanting to go live in Mayberry, North Carolina. Like, and he's like, I hate the way the new cities are, so I'm gonna go build Andy Griffith's town and start from scratch with Andy Griffith's town because the Dominion ruined Raleigh,
Yeah.
North Carolina, or something like that.
I,
So
I don't like thinking about it like that because it makes this guy seem like just like a lame ass like conservative. Like that just like. Ugh.
well, it doesn't have to be from a conservative perspective. It can just
Yeah.
be like they killed everyone, or they like
That's what I, was thinking. I was
it's like
thinking
a
they came
Nazi
in and, like,
regime. Yeah.
right.
Yes,
The fascists
yes.
Right.
came in and turned everyone into skinheads. Like that's
Yes.
Right.
But he is doing that because of that. Like, I want my old way of life, which was, not Nazi occupation.
Right.
So-
It was
I
like
figured that they
weird
just
Roman Greek style togas.
Yeah.
love the togas. I just figured they killed everyone. I just figured they like massacred everyone, and he was like, "Oh man, I want my homies back."
I mean, I'm sure they killed a lot of people knowing the Dominion, but I think it is sad. Like, no, they just changed the way of life. Like, it's a different way of living, which was probably unrecognizable. We've seen what the Dominion has done to other planets, so
Yeah.
can't blame him. But he was willing to go back to his old planet to die there.
yeah. He said, just take me
Absolutely.
back to where I can die.
Yeah.
This guy.
Nope. You
I'm
gotta
gonna
die,
give it a.
You gotta die
4.
here, and then they're gonna all the hollow programs are gonna bury your body.
Yeah.
This is an easy 5 for me. His
5 for Dylan.
romance towards that like past way of life, as well as boring as like the Kira Vedic stuff is, it's romance, so it gets a point
Uh,
for me.
the love between this guy and his hollow family and what he wants,
Ugh.
and then the familial romance of fucking Cisco with Jake being like, "Hey man,
So
you're
much
my
love.
son. I just want you to fucking do what
Yeah.
you love and do it the best you possibly can." It's a 5.
Speaking as somebody who, when I came out to my dad, I was met with complete unconditional love from my dad. That was, to me, that skyrockets it to a 5. I can't even. I agree with Dylan that the love for this guy and his, but to the Cisco Jake thing when he was like, I don't know if I want to be in Starfleet, and him just being like, dude, do what makes you happy, be who you want to be. 5.
There is love and romance throughout every single storyline, including O'Brien being like wonderful familial uncle.
He's your
to
uncle.
Cisco, and
Yeah.
even fucking Kira despising Quark is
Yeah.
like a classic family situation where you're like,
Yeah.
I fucking hate you, but I have to live in the same space as you.
She even thanks him. It's like, by the way, thank you. It was very distracting.
Yeah.
Not distracting enough.
I have been swung to add a 0.5. I just hate Burial so much. So it's
Me too.
4.5.
Is Baral going to drag down your score on every single one of these? That's rough.
I mean, look, if
I
he
mean,
had
Burial's
given a more
terrible.
interesting performance.
Boreal.
Snorile.
Okay, Romance and Ship in a Bottle. For me, it's a 3. I think there's something there with Moriarty and his hollow girlfriend creating a life, creating a girlfriend for himself. Like whatever, problematic in maybe some ways, but they seem to be happy, and going off into the sunset or the space set is nice. But there's just not enough there for me to give it more than 3.
Same. I said a 2.5. It wasn't. The romance takes a back seat to everything else that's going on in the episode. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 strictly for Barkley's love for the holodeck. Gives it 0.5 for me.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 strictly for Moriarty's love to be alive.
And just
that's
love
good.
to be a
Zest
fucking
for life.
menace, too.
Yeah.
Zest for life and
Yeah.
causing chaos.
Like we know he's
Yeah.
gonna cause chaos at some point, but as far as what he's told us, he just wants to enjoy being alive.
Yeah,
So
I like that. I like that.
3.5.
Action. Fucking dreidel. He turns into a dreidel.
He fucking
Action-
turns into a dreidel.
To me, action was the weakest in both of these episodes.
both
These are
of these,
not
yeah.
action-packed episodes at all.
Does anybody get kicked or punched or run? Does anybody run? I don't
He's
think
not
so.
even running.
Dax and Odo get a gun pulled on them.
There's a spring ball match.
We see. We don't see it
So that
though.
was so much-
No,
Nope.
they found a way to make it
Disgust.
boring.
We see Barkley. We see Barkley setting up the fucking amplifiers with Regina
Pretty
in the room,
intense.
and then
It's,
putting a chair in the
pretty
middle of
intense.
it.
Oh,
The
yeah,
whole-
sh-
the-
throwing the ball and catching it. Same thing with Jordy catching it.
The Matchbox. The whole point of Moriarty, of all of Sherlock Holmes' enemies, is everything is in the mind. Everything is
Yeah.
brain power. There's no action. He doesn't punch and fight Moriarty. Like,
Well, you clearly haven't seen the Guy Ritchie
The
ones.
good
Yeah.
sure.
You clearly have not seen them.
There is some action in kissing. There's some kissing action.
There's
some action.
Some bumping uglies. There's some of that. It's a 0 for me. I can't really think of
Yeah.
much.
It's a 0.5 for both of them from me, because there's a couple little things here and there that give it like some cool action. But
Little juice. Dylan, were you giving a 0 to both episodes?
Both of them, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if I would give any points to either episode.
I'm going to give a 0.5 to Shadow Play for the spinning as a top.
Yeah,
of
the top
moment.
spinning is goofy. I
And it's thematically appropriate because she's like, "Can you show me a trick?"
yeah.
I'm surprised that what's his face, by the way, as a side note, while Mark thinks about this, Regalius or whatever his name is. Sorry, Rigorous. He then
Rurgan.
was like, "Wait a second, you're a fucking changeling." Like shit, you're the ones who blew up my species. But I guess we
Yeah.
don't know at this point that the Dominion are.
Well,
the
the-
founders are changelings.
Most
The girl
people
has-
don't know that changelings are the head of the Dominion. Most
right,
people
they
just
know the
the
Jem'Hadar and the
and
Vorta and stuff. Yeah.
right, the girl though has the scary stories about the changelings, so
Mhm.
there is like bad press about them out there.
I also
Which
think
the
this is
changelings
the
would argue
first.
is why they had to do this.
This is the first instance in which Odo is called a changeling. Is in this episode,
Oh, interesting.
and then they use that word pretty much from here on out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll say a 0.5 for both of them. I'll say 0.5 because there is, I mean, like the planets crashing into each other. That's pretty cool, and then
That's
the
true.
Spinning
the
top.
spinning top. Those are shots. Those are cool shots.
I'll also give a 0.5 to Ship in a Bottle. Yeah. Suspense. They're
Both are pretty suspenseful.
These are really well matched episodes.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Right now, one is leading just because of
By like
Romance.
0.5.
Yeah.
Oh no, by a couple points.
yeah.
We're
Man,
doing shadow play first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
suspense for shadow play. There's the suspense of like what is going on, right?
Yeah.
I didn't feel it as much as the suspense um, for ship in a bottle because it was like the ship in a bottle
Same.
had the like ticking time clock, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whereas shadow play had the like, well, we got time. We can
There's so many
figure
B
this out.
plots and C
Well,
Right.
plots
but people
to
are
distract
disappearing.
it. Yeah, but like, are they
I didn't
disappearing
feel
every
that though.
minute?
Like,
But are we
Yeah.
comparing and are we scoring it based on the comparison or are you just scoring it?
I'm scoring it. I'm just kind of talking through both of them
Right. Okay.
right now.
I would say
Um,
that yeah, I agree with you, Darius. I'm gonna give suspense 3 personally for shadow play. It's there, but it's not like I'm not
This-
dying to know what's happened.
The
More of a
suspense.
curiosity.
The suspense of. There were two elements of suspense for this in shadow play for me. The first was the plot, the A plot suspense of what the fuck is going on. Why are people leaving? Why are people disappearing? The second was how was Cisco going to respond to Jake saying he didn't want to be in Starfleet? And that may be a little bit more of a stakes thing.
It's true.
Like the stakes are high for Jake. Like, okay, how is my dad going to respond to this? But like when Jake says, "I don't want to be in Starfleet," and Cisco stands up, and it's like, "Oh shit, how's he going to respond?" There was a suspense element for me there. So I'm going to say 3.5 for the main story, and then I'm going to add a point for the Jake story. So 4.5.
Wow, 4.5.
wow.
This
It's
is
a-
where the finger is putting some weight on the scale.
You don't know my score for shipping a bottle yet. You don't know my
It
score.
can only be 0.5 higher. It's a 2.5 for me. I didn't feel that suspense. It's there. I will not lie. The suspense is there. I just didn't feel it as an audience member watching it.
It's just not as intense. Yeah.
Having heard all of your arguments, I've decided to go with a 3.0.
3.0.
Dylan, I thought you said after hearing. I thought you were gonna say after hearing all of your arguments, I sustain.
I abstained. Yeah,
I abstain.
exactly.
I abstain.
I'm
I
voting
cannot
present.
provide an unbiased.
A present.
Okay. Now we are on ship in a bottle for suspense.
I mean, what the fuck is going on? Am I right, guys? That it's a stressful episode.
It's-
Kinda.
It's there's that ticking time bomb, right? Of like,
Yeah.
if we don't get out of here by a certain time, everyone's dead.
It's very classic Hitchcockian. Like we
Yeah.
know the star is gonna blow up.
Right.
The realization that the Riker and them that they've been talking to and the Geordie they've been talking to the whole time are fake. Wild.
I love
even though I
hilarious.
knew, but
Yeah.
still.
I love the Picard. Hey Jordy, can you fuck off? And Jordy's
Yeah.
like, uh-huh.
That's more of
Yeah,
a
I
camp
get you.
thing, but I was thinking about that too. We're just like Jordy, just walk away, and he's like,
He
"Yep,
just goes
yeah."
into like a corner. All of
yeah, he just. Like, I was
And
really
actually-
hoping he would go to a corner, but they do find that there is like a hallway.
There's a hallway
he turns
right
in.
there.
But he should have just gone to his workstation or something.
It was kind of disturbing. It was kind of creepy, actually. The way he was
It
just
was-
kind of like hovering there, like an
Yeah.
NPC.
Yeah.
It was spooky.
It was very Westworld, where like once they start talking about things that reveal that he's a hologram, he's just like, doesn't seem like anything to me.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
start to see what's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Going back to AI real quick.
Yeah.
In terms of seeing what's weird, it feels like one of those '90s movies or like Inception, where you're like in the dream and then you really start to look around and you're like, "Whoa, things are weird." When
Yep.
you look at like AI generated images, you're like, "Yeah, it's fine," and then you look a little closer and you're like, "Oh, what the fuck? This is
Yeah.
weird."
Why
This
is that
wrong.
donut melting through that
Yeah.
guy's hand?
Yeah. Like because our brains also operate on heuristics. So when we look at AI images initially, our brains are just like, that's normal.
We
And then
generate
you look
it.
closer and you're like, wait, these are broad strokes of a concept, but yes, when we look at details, it doesn't make sense. But our brains are so
Sure.
constantly just like trying to average things out to make sense of reality that we just accept things.
It's pretty awesome when
Um,
you're making movies.
It's a 4.5 for me. I felt
five.
the suspense in this
Yeah,
This one's a
episode.
4 for me.
4 for Dylan. Mark.
it's a 4.5.
It's a 5 for me.
Ooh.
I think we're back. I
real
think we're
doozy.
real close to even at this point.
Got ourselves a doozy.
Because I like that it ends with a question mark too. Because even if
Yeah.
Barkley's like end program and it doesn't end program, it's like, wait a second. Yeah.
Could still be in it.
How do we know?
Yeah.
True.
There's a Barkley in the little computer holodeck program that they gave
Yep.
to Moriarty that
Yep.
probably did the same thing.
Oh man.
All right, camp.
I mean, spinning top is
Just
so
finish up- and all the
campy.
costumes are
The
so campy
costumes,
and Shadow
the
Play.
village, the village.
love
We've
the
seen this
village.
village multiple times
This is
before.
that village.
I
This is
want to
that
live in
village.
that village.
I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone
I want
noticed.
to live in that village.
I don't know if anyone noticed, but the little sigil on the wall is like stylized like 4 hands grabbing like the forearm of each other
Aw.
to like create that like yeah.
Like a circle of hands together or something.
yeah, it's like 4 hands, one's grabbing the forearm of the other hand.
This is because this is the village where Picard grew old in, right? In the one
inner light.
Inner
Yeah,
light,
probably.
This
and
is
the
also
one where
the village where Data comes down and
and he
finds
loses his memory, right?
finds nukes. And like everyone's
Yeah.
getting sick because
Yeah,
Data
yeah, yeah.
lost
There's
his
a
memory
radiation
and brought
isotope or
nukes
whatever.
back. Like yeah.
And everybody's like in Aristotelian
Yeah.
Greece age. Like, no, there's 4 elements. There's wind and fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
But is it not the perfect village? Would you not
great.
want to live
Oh, it's wonderful.
in this little
We have to
constructed
find
place with a little square and like a true
I think it
little
was a set.
community?
I think it
Yeah,
was
you're
a
right,
set.
it's a set. Yeah.
No,
but
it's
it was a
Yeah,
set.
of course it is.
It was a set built on location. Absolutely.
I think so.
But-
Yeah.
Could be just on a Paramount lot.
It could be a back lot.
It's
Yeah.
out in,
Yeah.
it's- but they definitely were on location at some point because they were like out in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably everybody's least favorite day.
It could
I had
it
to
could have
drive
been
an
out on
hour
like
out.
one of these like one of the film ranches,
Some
right?
ranches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that both these episodes have holograms just grappling with the fact that they are holograms.
That they're real.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
what a
we did not
fun
plan that.
matchup.
That's-
no, yeah,
yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
Our subconscious is smart.
And like one group, like the village group, is just like super chill about it. Like, I guess we're holograms. Fuck. And,
They vibe.
and we're already just like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Get me out.
The village wasn't like, can you make a holo ship so that we can holo travel around the galaxy? Everybody was like, we're happy. We're
We're
just
good. We like this place.
Yeah. Give us
We've never
more
left the
beads for
valley.
our hair.
Yeah.
Like,
Look, I just want my cloak back.
that was my favorite cloak.
Whereas, like, I would like to conquer all of existence.
I will kill you all. I will blow up
would
this
love,
ship.
I would love for them to hop into that program all these years later and see just the galaxy ruled by like an aging, disgusting Moriarty.
Moriarty.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Fuck. Good thing we did not let him out.
Yeah.
That's
Holy
that's
shit.
actually how Star Wars happens. He becomes
That's
the
how Star
emperor.
Wars
Yeah.
Good thing we didn't get him the doctor's mobile emitter.
Yes. This guy would be a problem.
Yeah.
It's a 5 for camp for me for Shadow Play.
Yeah.
For shadow play, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a 5.
Yeah.
So, too.
Yeah, I think
you know
it's a
what?
five.
While
if
we're
we
at it,
camp
it's
across
a
the
5
board.
for the.
It's
other
a 5 for
Are
shipping
you
a bottle
kidding me,
for
Mark?
me too.
They're
I-
doing
it-
fucking Shakespeare. They're doing Shakespeare.
They're doing not Shakespeare, but
He's
Or
just
you-
quoting
whatever.
Latin. I gave him their laurels in the dialogue for that. I to me it wasn't as campy. He is a campy villain.
you tell me Picard telling Geordi to go fuck off is not the
Yeah.
campiest thing you've ever seen.
And Data smoking a goddamn pipe. Data puffing on the pipe.
all the Sherlock
Puffing
style
on the
camp of like the tricks and the catching things and
That I
And
do.
the-
You're right. I do like that scene where he Jordy calling him out and being like, "Dude, he caught
You're
it
an
with his right
God,
hand."
it was his right hand, man.
and
I
then
don't know
him
what
coming back and it being
It be
Geordi the
that
one-
being like, Jordy's left-handed. Okay, you're right. I'll give it a 4.5. I thought that was great. Yeah.
All right, so 4, 5.
it's 5s for me.
Yeah, 5 for me too. But okay, so Shadowplay got a Quinteros, but Ship in a Bottle did not.
because it's not DS9.
That's not what I said.
That's not what you
Here we
said.
go,
That's what you
here we
meant.
I think I think I gave a 5 to Shadowplay. I think that's a little high for that episode in terms of campiness compared to Ship in a Bottle.
Yeah,
If if y'all are gonna change your scores because of my score,
No. I'm
No,
keeping mine
nothing's
as a
gonna
5. I'm
Uh-huh.
just like I'm trying to figure out how but we're not comparing them except by a score. It's just weird to me. But okay, stakes. This is where things change a little bit anyway. So
I mean,
Shadowplay, it's just emotional stakes for this old guy.
which are huge. Like,
And
Emotional stakes for Cisco
I think it's
and
I think for me it's 5s for both. I think both get 5s from me.
no,
Because
fives get both for this one, but not for camp.
yes. I think there's huge emotional stakes for this old man. There's huge emotional stakes for Jake. There's relationship stakes for Kira, even though Barile is boring as fuck. They're like her relationships on the line. Quark may be thrown in jail. There's a lot of stakes for everyone in Shadowplay, and everyone could die on the Enterprise. So I think it's 5s across the board.
in Shadowplay, not everybody. I mean, like the village will die, but
Yeah.
never
We've established he cares about all these people.
Here's-
He loves all these people. There's
here's-
huge emotional stakes for this man.
Here's
His whole
my-
world could be destroyed.
Here's my
that guy's world.
I
That's
agree.
guy
Take
we
on
just
this
met
one.
today.
it
Shadowplay.
doesn't matter if you just met him today. Sorry, Derek.
Shadowplay is total emotional stakes. There's really not any physical stakes going on. Cool.
Okay.
Now we go over, and so I'm gonna give it like a 4. Now we go over to Ship in a Bottle. That's got the emotional stakes of Moriarty wanting to be recognized as an actual being and let out of the holodeck. Like huge emotional stakes there. And then there's also the physical stakes of like everyone could die if we don't let Moriarty out. So it's a 5.
Sure.
That's exactly my argument as well.
I don't think it's fair to compare
Same.
those two.
I'm not
Just because
not comparing them at all.
But
You
this is
literally
also consistent
said-
with how we
Literally
rate
just said-
episodes, which
What
is
I'm
will
saying-
everybody die if
We
What
don't
I'm
always
saying-
do that.
we
I'm
don't
not-
always do that.
But I'm not. It's not in comparison. What I'm saying is, it gets a 5 because it has both. The other one doesn't have both.
Okay.
That is comparing
my-
the two.
No, it is not.
Yes.
Because if I was gonna do Shadowplay by itself, I'd say there are no physical stakes here. It's all emotional. It's a 4. Has
Okay.
nothing to do with the other episode.
that's just your criteria then.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
which is
I don't
generally
think
our
physical
criteria.
Not our. Don't speak for both of us,
Nope.
Jan. Mark, I got you.
We
on
could
this.
go way back.
Don't speak for
And
both
we,
of us.
we
here.
often are like,
Often.
does this threaten the ship?
Yeah.
Will everybody die?
Yes, I agree, but that's never how I exclusively think about the stakes.
That's
No,
fine.
that's fine.
That's
I
fine.
think Mark is correct in this sense. There are way more emotional stakes, and I think those compensate for the quote unquote.
Now you're
physical
comparing.
Stakes.
Now you're
Yeah,
comparing
I
by
am,
saying
because
there are
that's what
way
we're fucking
more
doing right
emotional
now.
stakes.
That's what we're doing. We're comparing. It's a 5 for me.
For the record, when we originally voted for this, we all gave it 5s for stakes.
That's fine.
Just so we're talking about
That's why we're
what's the
re-rating them.
thing.
That's why we're.
I know
re-rating
we're
the
re-rating.
stakes,
I'm just
Mark.
saying, it's not always the death of the crew that determines our stakes.
Sure.
It's
It
not.
was a
You're right.
Quinteros. It was a
Kids
Quintero.
spicy.
Sure.
You're right. It's not always that, but it is now.
Also, because
Y'all
we
are just
looking
mad
at
I
this-
didn't give it a 5 in camp,
Also, Mark, we are taking now the whole episode into account.
which just adds
adds
more
to
emotional
plot-
stakes.
More
Yeah.
emotional stake, which is like great. Hats on hats.
Yeah.
And
Two
you
hats are better
reduced
than one.
your score.
3 hats are better than one. You ever see a guy with 3 hats on?
And if
Way
we look
better
at
than 1 hat.
and if we look at Ship in a Bottle, when you're just doing what's in the holodeck, it's all emotional stakes. There's no physical stakes because that's happening outside of the holodeck. So now
but
we're
there's
re-rating
only-
this whole thing.
And we gave it 5s.
Yeah,
Great.
but there's only 1 hat of emotional stakes. There's not 3 hats, right?
So
This one's got 3 hats of emotional
Also-
stakes.
yeah, but there's also the huge pantaloons of physical stakes.
The physical
Oh,
stakes
okay.
are
Fair enough.
stakes. The stakes are
pantaloons of
still
physical
determined the physical stakes are still determined within the holodeck because Moriarty is controlling them from
They are.
within the holodeck.
They are.
So
but-
that was
guess-
still a thing when we originally rated this one.
The real question is do you want to have 3 hats or do you want to have a hat and some big pantaloons?
hat and some big
How do you want to
pantaloons.
live? Really?
Okay, so wait, Dylan, was your score? What was your score for ship in a bottle for steaks?
It's double 5. Double
All right,
5.
5, just a single 5. Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, this is very easy. Ship in a bottle is a 5. Emotional and physical stakes. Shadow play gets a 3.5.
Oh, get fucked. He's just doing this. He's poking.
He's just trying to. He's mad I didn't give it a 5 in camp.
This guy
and
has
he's
already
mad.
made peace that he's gonna lose this whole village,
which-
he's willing to get dropped off. This
I
own-
didn't even
own
give it
planet.
that low of a score. I still gave it a 4.
Yeah, I'm just doing this to fuck
It's
with
just
us.
trying to
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
with
I'm
Shadow
just doing
play.
it to fuck with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's clear.
I'm taking a whole episode into account, and
Yep.
I gotta say also, Kira and Virile really dragged this down. Really dragged this down. Really
fair,
dragged
that's
this
fair.
down.
You tell me there's emotional stakes between that wet noodle and her?
Oh my
No.
god. The stake. If anything, the stakes there are like Kira, run
Get
away.
out.
This
Get
guy
out.
is not a good situation.
Bullshit.
Oh man.
Those are big stakes then.
It's gonna
actually.
be a close score. It's
No,
gonna
not
be tight.
anymore.
No, I think it'll be close.
I think it'll be tight.
It'll be
We'll
tight.
see.
It's gonna be real close. Okay. So in dialogue, Shadowplay averaged 4.625. Ship in a Bottle got a 5. Quinteros. Romance, Shadowplay got 4.875. Ship in a Bottle got 3.125. Shadowplay in action got 0.375, as did Ship in a Bottle. Not a strong part of their games.
No, it
Sus-
wasn't. It was weak.
Suspense for Shadowplay 3.25. Ship in a Bottle 4.5. Camp Shadowplay 5. Camp Ship in a Bottle 4.875. And Stakes Shadowplay 4.375. Ship in a Bottle 5. Overall score Shadowplay 3.75. Ship in a Bottle 3.81.
So close.
Ooh.
Very close.
So
Nail biter.
close.
Nail
Buzzer
biter.
beater.
True.
Buzzer beater. Some say maybe the refs had a little something to do with that. There should have been a
Some
foul
say the
called.
refs were paid off.
Some say there was a grumpy French judge who was tanking because he was mad.
I mean, I did say that I would play the French
You did.
judge
You did say
a
that.
few weeks ago. I want to see how this compares. How does this compare to the original scores we gave it? Ship in a Bottle was season 1, wasn't it?
Ship and Bottle was season 1. I have Shadow Plays already pulled up.
I'm looking.
Shadow Plays was higher than what we rated it today.
It
Just
was
got a little
higher.
bit more
Oh, yeah.
scrutiny.
Yeah. I mean, also because we're taking more into context of what the episode was. Oh, we actually did it in season 2, Ship in a Bottle. That scored a 3.979.
So a little
Basically,
less.
basically a 4. So yeah, they both scored less. They were both brought down by their overall episodes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And and that one you had a guest, and I wasn't on that one. You had Shem on that one, and I wasn't there.
Yeah, you weren't
and
there,
and Shadow Play was a 3.96.
So these episodes in their original scores are basically neck and neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're basically neck and neck. in
They're
this
basically
one,
next.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not have going into this, and even as Jan was reading out the scores, couldn't have told you which one was going to win.
Oh,
because like watching both episodes, I was like, I don't know if someone told me like choose the episode right now without rating it, I couldn't. I'd be like, they're both amazing episodes. Like,
I think
Yeah.
I think Shadowplay was always the underdog personally.
They made it really
I-
far, yeah.
I prefer it, but I think it was the underdog compared to such a classic TNG episode.
Some say it shouldn't even really participate in a holodeck tournament because
it's not really a holodeck.
Yeah, and it's using Omicron
Shadowplay?
particles and not photons like other
Yeah.
These are
holodecks.
semantics. Not important.
We're just saying some people. We're
Some
not
people.
us.
Some
Just some
antics
people.
are giving Barile so much credit in the stakes.
I got.
I
you.
literally told you a story about me coming out to my dad and how important that was to me.
You pull out
And-
all the stops.
And Jan goes, your story is bullshit, and
I never said
that's
your
not
story was
really
bullshit.
important in life.
No,
I am not,
what Jan
like,
said
yeah.
was, Mark, I see that, I understand that,
But
Barile
Vedic
sucks ass.
Again, it's just also like if Odo and Dax didn't figure out the mystery on the planet, not all of Deep Space Nine would have died.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fair.
That's
I'm
it.
just
That's all it is.
a
it
bunch
got a,
of
it got
a bunch of
Quinteros when
sentient,
we first rated it.
a bunch of sentient hollow people would have
Yeah.
died. That's
It got
They're
a-
weighing somebody else's life. Who's to say these people's lives are more important?
It got a
Is it trolley problem
Quinteros.
situation.
It got a Quinteros just based on that element of the story when we first rated it. Not even the Jake and Cisco thing.
It was really funny.
Some would
You said
say, yeah.
you say the trolley problem, Jan. I saw somebody the other day do a video on the trolley problem. They're like, "There's actually a way to save everybody, and it's called track skipping."
What is this trolley problem?
You know, where you pull the lever if you turn it off, like kill a
A
group,
train-
this group or that group.
A train
or
is
that
going to
group.
hit 5 people tied to the tracks, but you
Gotcha.
could change it to kill 1 person tied to tracks by
Gotcha.
pulling a lever. So do you let nature take its course, or do
Uh-huh.
you intervene
Make the
Intervene.
choice.
to kill
Yeah.
somebody? Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Ship on a Bottle, this year's winner of Par March Madness.
You'll be going home with a free Chevy Malibu. A
Hey.
free 2013 Chevy Malibu.
I know
have
Jan's
to
about
pick
to
that.
Jan's about to groan the hardest he's ever groaned, but watching Survivor again, they give away so many GMC Yukons, and I'm like, these are the worst looking cars ever.
They look pretty bad now, aren't they? Don't they look like a weird minivan?
It's
SUV
actually a
hybrid?
curse in Survivor. You don't want to get the car.
Because you don't win.
Really?
Well, because people go, you got a car. Why am I going to give you $1 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like a car is $40,000, and
You got to pay taxes on it.
But
You gotta
it's
pay
pe-
taxes on that.
In people's
burden.
minds, you got
Yeah.
your reward. Why am I going to give you another reward?
No, for sure. I understand. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
they
groan
also
at, at Survivor. That's fine. Just keep
you also
talking
get
about it.
paid to be on Survivor, so it's
You
kind of a
do.
win-win,
Yeah.
regardless of if you win the $1 million.
Not $1 million though. You don't get.
How much do you
$1
get paid to be on Survivor per episode?
It's like
It's not per
tiered.
episode. It's tiered based on how long you're there.
Because
Yeah,
if
so-
you're only there for one episode, you don't get as much if you're there.
think
From what
if
it
you
was
get s-
pre-pandemic, if you were on the first one to go home, you got at least $10,000 if you came
Yeah.
back to the
Jury.
reunion show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
the reunion show, and then you got I think like $3,000 or something, or $8,000 or
of
something
that.
like that for just being on the show. So overall, you could get like 18 grand or something
I
like
think
that.
you get like $100 grand if you make it to the finals.
I think
Yeah.
you get like
if you're in
800.
second, if you come
Yeah,
in second,
second
you
or
get
something,
100
yeah.
grand.
Is it 100? I thought it was a lot more than that.
Really?
No, because the winner doesn't actually get $1 million. The winner gets 900 grand.
Oh.
Because of taxes.
No, because they split the million.
What?
Yeah.
That
Split
seems
it
wrong.
100,000 and 900,000. So $1
Yeah.
million is in the pool. For
It's
That
a
sounds
$1
like
million
you're just
dollar-
straight up lying.
No.
Yeah, who? But they're all saying
He
"I'm
says
gonna give
you
the
win
$1
$1 million. You don't win $1 million.
Yeah, it
who's
feels pretty
seen
cut and dried.
40 seasons of Survivor and who's seen 2?
I understand that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that's straight up lying to tell somebody they're winning $1 million when they're winning 900,000.
Yeah, well, it's television. Turns out reality TV isn't that real.
Isn't it like $2 million now because of inflation and whatnot? Did they? Like,
No,
up
it was 2 million for the Winners at War season.
Oh.
When they bring
okay.
people back, they have to
Season
like, up
40,
a little
it was
bit.
all winners. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's a great
Well,
season, by the way.
Everyone, thank you for listening to our AI chat and our Survivor podcast that occasionally will dip into some Star Trek. Thank you for joining us for Par March Madness.
Yeah, and we talked about at least 2 Paramount properties. So check
It's fair.
check out Paramount Plus while it still exists.
I talked about The Matrix. Isn't that owned by Paramount?
No, it's Warner Brothers.
Oh, you're right.
WB.
But yeah, we have no association with Paramount, so just fan podcast. Thanks for Run a Blue for the computer voice. Thank you, Indiesaurus, for hosting us on your platform. And thank you,
Intro and outro
Bodyline.
music? Yeah.
for the intro and outro
Jan wants
music.
Yeah.
out. He is done.
It's 12:13. We're done. All right, folks. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming for the rest of April. Have a fantastic one.
Bye.
Computer
Bye.
and program.